If keto feels like it should be working, but your body is not cooperating, you're not alone. You can hit your macros, avoid sugar, and still see the scales stall. Or worse, you feel tired, hungry, and frustrated. The hard truth is that doing keto right is not the same as getting the result you want. Your body responds to energy balance, hormones, sleep, stress, and food quality, not just carb grams. Keto can be a useful tool, but it has common failure points that look like discipline problems. They usually aren't. In the next few minutes, you'll get a clear checklist of the most common reasons keto stalls. You'll also learn what to adjust without swinging to extremes. Think of this as debugging a system. We're not blaming you. Moving to slide 2. First, let's separate fat loss from water loss. Early keto weight drops are often water, not body fat. When you lower carbs, you burn through stored glycogen, and glycogen holds water. So you can lose several pounds quickly, then stall when that water shift is done. That doesn't mean keto stopped working. It means the easy fast part ended. From there, real fat loss is slower and less linear. Also, the scale can hide progress because water changes with salt, workouts, stress, and menstrual cycles. A better signal is your weekly trend, not a single morning number. If you're only watching day-to-day weight, keto can feel broken even when it isn't. The fix is boring but powerful. Track a 7 to 14-day average and pair it with waist measurements or how clothes fit. Moving to slide 3. The most common reason keto isn't working is simple. You're eating more energy than you think. Keto foods are dense. Nuts, cheese, oils, cream, and fat bombs can push calories up fast. And because keto reduces hunger for many people, it's easy to assume calories no longer matter. But your body still runs on energy balance. If your intake matches your output, fat loss slows or stops. This is not about obsessing forever. It's about doing a short audit to find hidden extras. Measure cooking oils for a week, weigh nuts instead of grabbing handfuls. Check how often just a bite happens. If tracking triggers you, use structure instead. Repeat simple meals, limit snacks, and keep portions consistent. Keto can help appetite, but it can't override physics indefinitely. Moving to slide 4. Another trap is treating fat as a goal instead of a lever. Keto is high fat, but that doesn't mean you must chase fat grams. Dietary fat is fuel. Body fat is also fuel. If you're trying to lose body fat, you want your body to use more of its own stored energy. When you add a lot of extra butter, cream, and oils, you may simply be giving your body plenty of fuel to burn, so it doesn't need to dip into storage. Protein is often the missing anchor. Adequate protein supports muscle, keeps you full, and improves diet adherence. A practical approach is hit your protein target, keep carbs low enough for you, and use fat to manage hunger, not to meet macros. Many people break stalls by slightly lowering added fats while keeping protein steady. Moving to slide 5. Let's talk about carb creep, because it's sneaky. You can be disciplined and still drift upward through sauces, dressings, keto snacks, and restaurant meals. Labels can also mislead. Net carbs subtract fiber and sometimes sugar alcohols, but not everyone responds the same way. Some sugar alcohols still affect blood sugar for some people, and many keto products are easy to overeat. Even whole foods can add up if portions grow. Berries, onions, nuts, and dairy are common. If fat loss stalled, a clean reset helps. For 1 to 2 weeks, base meals on simple proteins, non-starchy vegetables, and measured fats. Keep packaged keto treats out of the test. If progress returns, you found the issue. Then you can reintroduce foods one at a time and see what breaks your momentum. Moving to slide 6. Keto can also fail when protein is too low. This happens when people fear that protein will kick them out of ketosis. Yes, your body can convert some protein into glucose, but that's a demand-driven process, not a magic switch. For most people, under-eating protein is a bigger problem than eating too much. Low protein can reduce fullness, increase cravings, and make it harder to maintain muscle during weight loss. Less muscle can mean a lower daily energy burn over time. A simple check: are you building meals around protein or around fats? Aim for a clear protein portion at each meal, then add vegetables, then add fats as needed for taste and satiety. If you lift weights or are older, protein becomes even more important. Keto works best when it's not low protein by accident. Moving to slide 7. Now the less obvious one, stress and sleep. Poor sleep raises hunger and makes high-calorie foods more tempting. It can also increase water retention, which hides fat loss on the scale. Chronic stress pushes cortisol higher, and that can affect appetite, cravings, and where your body tends to hold water. Keto doesn't cancel that out. If you're sleeping 5 hours, working long days, and trying to diet aggressively, your body may fight back with fatigue and stalled progress. The fix is not perfect sleep. It's a few high-leverage habits, a consistent wake time, a wind-down routine, and caffeine cut earlier. Also, don't make your calorie deficit too extreme. A moderate deficit is often more sustainable and produces better trends over time. If keto feels harder under stress, that's a signal to simplify, not to punish yourself. Moving to slide 8. Electrolytes are another reason people feel awful on keto and then quit or overeat to compensate. When insulin drops, your kidneys excrete more sodium and water. That can lead to headaches, lightheadedness, cramps, and low energy. Many people call this the keto flu, but it's often an electrolyte imbalance. If you feel weak, your workouts drop, your steps drop, and your daily energy burn drops too. That can slow fat loss even if food is controlled. Start with sodium. Many people need more salt than they expect on low carb. Potassium and magnesium matter too, especially for cramps and sleep quality. The goal isn't mega dosing. It's consistent basics. Salt your food, consider broth, and get potassium-rich whole foods that fit your plan. Feeling better makes adherence easier, and adherence drives results. Moving to slide 9. Let's cover exercise, because it can confuse the picture. When you start lifting weights or increase training, your muscles store more glycogen again and hold more water. That can mask fat loss for weeks. Also, hard workouts increase inflammation temporarily, which is normal and can raise scale weight. If you judge progress only by the scale, you might think keto stopped working, right when your body is actually adapting. Another issue is compensation. Some people train harder and then unconsciously move less the rest of the day, or they reward workouts with extra food. A better approach is to separate goals. Use strength training to protect muscle, use walking for steady calorie burn, and use the scale trend over time. If performance is crashing, revisit electrolytes and total calories. Keto should support your life, not drain it. Moving to slide 10. If you're doing everything right but still not losing, look at alcohol. Even small amounts can slow progress. Alcohol is energy your body prioritizes metabolizing, so fat burning can pause while it's processed. It also lowers inhibition, increases appetite, and makes late-night snacking more likely. Many low-carb drinks still come with calorie load, and mixers can add hidden carbs. Another issue is sleep quality. Alcohol can make you fall asleep faster but reduce deep sleep, which then affects hunger the next day. If you want a clean test, take a 2 to 4 week break from alcohol and watch your trend. If things improve, you don't need to label alcohol bad. You just learned it's a bottleneck for your body. Then you can decide how often it fits your goals without guessing. Moving to slide 11. Now, the medical and life context layer. Some conditions and medications can make fat loss harder, even with solid habits. Thyroid issues, PCOS, insulin resistance, and menopause transitions can affect appetite, water retention, and energy expenditure. Certain antidepressants, steroids, and other meds can influence weight too. This doesn't mean keto can't help. It means your timeline and strategy may need to be different. If you've had months of no progress, extreme fatigue, hair loss, or other symptoms, it's worth discussing with a clinician and getting appropriate labs. Also consider your starting point. If you're already lean, fat loss is slower. If you're dieting after years of dieting, your body may adapt with lower energy burn. In these cases, consistency and a moderate plan beat aggressive restriction. Moving to slide 12. Let's make this practical with a simple troubleshooting order. Step 1. Confirm your trend. Use a 7 to 14 day average and one body measurement. Step 2. Run a calorie audit for 7 days, focusing on oils, nuts, cheese, and snacks. Step 3. Set protein as the non-negotiable, then keep carbs consistently low and let fat float. Step 4. Remove keto products and alcohol for a short test window. Step 5. Fix the basics that drive adherence: sleep, electrolytes, and daily walking. Do these in order, not all at once. You want to know what actually moved the needle. Most stalls break with 1 or 2 adjustments, not a total overhaul. And if nothing changes after several weeks of consistent testing, that's your cue to get personalized medical input. Debugging beats guessing. Moving to slide 13. One last mindset shift. Keto is not a morality test. If it's not working for you, that doesn't mean you're broken. It may mean you need a different version of low carb, a different calorie target, or a different structure you can sustain. Some people do better with slightly higher carbs from whole foods and fewer added fats. Others do better with time-restricted eating or simply fewer ultra-palatable keto snacks. Your job is to find the simplest plan you can repeat. If you want a quick self-check, rate your hunger, energy, and cravings from 1 to 10. If those are consistently high, the plan needs adjustment, even if your macros look perfect. If this breakdown helped, subscribe for more evidence-informed nutrition troubleshooting. And comment with your biggest keto roadblock: A, cravings, or B, stalls. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Insulin drives the system. Understand it.